Hello everyone, welcome to Dr. Rajkumar Academy. In this session, we'll discuss about 5/9/2022 newspapers. So, there are certain issues which are important. We will quickly go through each one of this and try to understand whatever they have given with respect to this. So, the first issue is about the Jharkhand Assembly politics, and they are going for a trust vote, so not so important. Cyrus Mystery killed in car accident. So, yes, from humanity point of view and all, it's important, but not from UPSC point of view. State to appoint. See, state to appoint basically means they are planning, and especially it's a state government news. So don't worry about it. Ahead of Bharat Jodo Yatra, Rahul targets Prime Minister. Not required, guys. Now, after this, we'll go for editorial, guys. Editorial page. Justice rendered, but only incompletely. This is an article written with respect to Tista Setalwad, so not so important, right? You can leave it because it's a lawyer arguing from a technical point of view, guys. So please leave that article. Coercion as conversion. Because this is a very important issue, and from last 10 days or so, the issue is repetitively in news. Please understand there is LGBTQIA plus. So lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, intersex, asexual. There are so many other such types, guys. And in all these, transgenders are only biological. Transgender will have both male and female parts, whereas lesbians, gay, bisexual, queer, intersex, asexual, all these people are oriented. The meaning of orientation is they have feeling for, like, same sex, or it is not natural. That means, like, whatever is a normal process, rather than using the word natural, whatever is a normal process, that they are not. So it is not between men and women, it can be between men, it can be between women, it can be both men and women. So like this, you have certain issues. And now in this article, what it tries to argue is, in India, whenever they get to know that a guy is a gay or a lesbian, they send them for therapies. It can be like, psychiatric treatment, some drugs using, electric shock. So they give all these things so that the orientation may change. And in most of the cases, because of the fear that there is a torture, they agree that they won't go to that. But it really doesn't change the sexual orientation of the people associated with the groupings. So recently, the IMA, Indian Medical Association, has given a judgment saying that such things must not be allowed. It is professional misconduct because it is not proven that such treatments are going to change their sexual orientation. So, as this article, I just want you to read once, don't make any notes. In that article, they are just trying to say we need to learn from other countries as well and bring about certain aspects. India and Australia from divergence to convergence. The fifth round of bilateral track 1.5. See, what is the meaning of track 1.5? See, track 1 basically means country to country dialogue. That means, like, prime minister, ministers, if they talk, it is called one, track 1 diplomacy. Track 2 diplomacy basically means if NGOs and others they talk, we call it as track 2 diplomacy. Whenever there is both, like, government and NGOs working together, then it is called track 1.5 dialogue. Just remember, during after India's independence, India Australia had good relations, but India supported Russia and Australia supported US. Because of this, there was no good relations between India and Australia. And after India testing Pokhran, we also observed that Australia was not happy and did not export uranium to India. So these are some of the aspects which is very, very important for us. This article, nothing much to write down. So don't worry. As of now, relations is improving is what they are trying to tell. But it is not very effective article. Don't waste your time in reading it, guys. Now, a lot is at stake for India-Bangladesh ties, guys. Is very, very important. I won't say no. But the problem with this is Sheikh Hasina is coming today. Like, that is like September 5th to 8th. She is going to meet people. And now it is very, very essential for us to look into this. But let her have agreements first. As of today, whenever a leader comes to the country and whenever a leader is going out of the country, let us say Modi is visiting Mongolia, Rajnath is visiting Mongolia, you have an article today. So what happens? They try to predict, okay, this may be the relation, this may be the relations. But actually, once they come, sit, talk, there will be certain issues that they will talk for sure. So these people will be very skeptic and negative about it. So don't waste your time in such things. Let us wait for one more day. Tomorrow again we will be doing this. At that point of time, it would be easier for us to get what is actually happening. Fine. Now, see, Hasina's visit to focus on water sharing. There is a border dispute, Tista water dispute, and also Ganges water dispute, which Sheikh Hasina wants to discuss about. No problem. But is also expected. Can you see that? There will be a lot of expectations, yes. Once they sit and discuss, all these would be clear. Paytm says no links with traders not required. Rajnath to begin 3-day visit to Mongolia today. See guys, Mongolia is extremely important for India. So once he goes, he looks into the issues, like we are going to read this. Remember, whether you watch the video or not, tomorrow when Bangladesh news will come, Mongolia news will come, you should definitely read it. Abe considered Manmohan a mentor, Modi a friend. So guys, Tomohiko Taniguchi was Shinzo Abe's advisor who used to write speeches for Shinzo Abe, and he is saying that Shinzo Abe considered India to be a very good friend. He saw Manmohan Singh as a mentor and Modi a friend with whom he can work effectively. So that is what the entire argument is about. Call for Rahul Gandhi to take up Congress mantle. Cyrus Mistry, Azad unveils, NCP backs, Yogendra Yadav opts, like former CJI not required. Now, the next very important issue which will be asked for sure is about dark sky reserve to come up in Ladakh. Guys, in science and technology, you can write below. See, guys, what is dark sky reserve? You see here, a dark sky reserve is a designation given to a place that has policies in place to ensure that a tract of land or region has minimal artificial light interference. I want you to write this point. What exactly does this mean? See guys, any area will be called as dark sky reserve only if it has a policy to ensure that closer to that area on the ground there must be no lights. That means vehicular movement in that region must be completely stopped. Second, even air movement over that will be stopped. Fine. And it will also help, or it will train the villagers and other people in the region not to use lights much, which will abrupt its usage. So in India, in Ladakh, a place by name Hanle, it is about 4,500 meters above the sea level, and this is used to host telescopes so that space related things can be studied effectively. This is the actual thing that they want to achieve. Fine, yes. So two things must be there in your notes. A dark sky reserve, what exactly does this mean? And in India, which is the place? Hanle in Ladakh. Very, very important one, guys. Very, very important one. Now, the Himalayan Chandra telescope, high energy gamma ray telescope, major atmospheric Cherenkov experiment telescope, Growth India telescope are the prominent telescopes located at the Hanley Observatory. If possible, you write this as well, guys. This particular paragraph as well, you write. Captive Assam elephants abused in Tamil Nadu. So, guys, so this is an issue where some elephants which were present, Assam elephant present in Tamil Nadu, is not treated well. Few people from Assam have come to look into it, is what they are telling. Scientists remain skeptical about how nano urea benefits crop sales. Indian government yesterday gave nod to usage of nano urea. Nano urea will be very thin compared to the normal urea, and it is believed that urea normally is produced with the help of burning of air with natural gas. Now, natural gas is actually imported, and as natural gas is imported, our import bill is extremely high because of the fertilizers. Now, government is planning to reduce this import bill because nano urea will not be using the import based materials much. So if this happens, then our import bill reduces drastically. But scientists are saying that without having proper trials, without having proper experiments, government is in a hurry to introduce it. So they are saying that to produce 1 ton of wheat grain, a plant needs 25 kgs of nitrogen. For rice, it requires 20 kg of nitrogen, and for maize, it is 30 kg of nitrogen. And not all the urea that is like uh, applied will be absorbed by the plant. So here they say that even if 60% of the available nitrogen was used, then the yield will be 496 gram, guys. It's not 496 kgs. Even if 100% of 20 gram of nano urea is effectively utilized, it will yield only 368 grams of grain. So don't get into the technicalities of this. Just try to write this part. To produce 1 ton of wheat grain, a plant needs 25 kg of nitrogen. For rice, 20 kg of nitrogen. Maize, 30 kg of nitrogen. This must be there in your science and technology itself. And remember guys, plant requires nitrogen for proteins, DNA and all. Fine. So this article is trying to say the problems associated with nano. It is bit technical, not so important. So you have to write merits and demerits of nano urea. Fine. So what are the merits? It is believed that it will reduce. So yes, merits: reduce import bills. Second, nano urea sold in 500 ml bottles has only 4% nitrogen. This is a negative. It has only 4% nitrogen, whereas plants require several kgs of nitrogen. Plants require several kgs of nitrogen. But company argues that a bottle small bottle of 500 ml a small bottle of 500 ml of nano urea is equivalent to 150 kg bag of 150 kg bag of granular urea currently used by farmers. So guys, 500 ml they say is equivalent to 50 kg, but scientists are arguing that 500 ml will have only 4%, but plants require more than that. Fine. And then they say, negative point guys, urea is highly water soluble. Urea is highly water soluble and already reaches the lowest form of concentration and already reaches a lowest form of concentration when absorbed. But it is not clear how how nanoparticles can increase the effectiveness of nitrogen uptake by being still smaller. Fine. So guys, that much is enough. Agnipath top an army's chief agenda during Nepal trip, guys. So guys, remember, Gurkha Regiment of India gets its people from Nepal, and we recruit there. Now Agnipath scheme we want to introduce in Nepal as well for recruitment. Some Nepalese are skeptic about it because Agnipath doesn't give any sort of PF. So, like Indian Army chief when going to Nepal is planning to talk about this. This next, this is very very important. Isro test system to recover spent rocket stages. See, yes, normally we launch a rocket. After it is being launched, certain equipments we can get it back safely. So if you can bring that back, then the cost of that will be less, and this we can use when we are launching something from Venus, Mars, or somewhere else. What is the meaning of this? Let us say we launch a rocket, its parts will be there, and if we are able to recover it, then it is easy to recover certain parts that we have sent to outer space as well slowly. So, India recently got back inflatable aerodynamic decelerator. It was developed and successfully test flown on a Rohini 300 sounding rocket which was launched from Tumba Equatorial Rocket Launching Station. So guys, on Rohini 300 sounding rocket from the Tumba, a rocket was launched and it is brought back successfully. And it is said that it is a game changer which has multiple applications for future missions. So just in your notes, you write this. India recently tested inflatable inflatable aerodynamic decelerator inflatable aerodynamic decelerator and and it could recover it could recover it back. Fine. So this is very very important for you guys, science and technology. Money wise, Monday articles are not so important, don't worry. So, like international relations today, the issues are not so important, and then comes the sports guys. So guys, these are some of the issues that you need to look at, and hope it was helpful. Please, you can like share it with your friends as well if you are feeling this to be interesting, and at the same time please watch more videos that we are launching as part of geography economy series as well. And yes, we'll be starting the new batch sooner, that is like September 12th or so. You can plan to visit our campus and get further details, guys. Thank you, thanks a lot.